Explain his contract if you can.
So they picked up the 5th-year option on his rookie deal last May, and when they did that, that was a no-brainer. So he's guaranteed to make $19 million next year. That money's guaranteed. If they were to trade him, it would be no dead money. But I think they want to move on, Dan. I just don't know what a better option would be. Free agency doesn't, provide a great one. If you wanted to say go the Mariota or Mitch Trubisky route, could Baker coexist with those guys? And then realistically, could you go make a trade for Russell Wilson, for Deshaun Watson, for Derek Carr? No one knows right now. And if those guys do get traded, the Browns certainly aren't going to be the only suitor.
And I'm thinking about this. If Aaron Rodgers is going to be in the market, they're going to want to trade him to an AFC team, not an NFC team. So Denver and Cleveland could compete for him. Deshaun Watson, who knows what's going to happen there? I don't know if it matters where he goes, just that he finally goes. I don't know if you look at the draft, if you could have a gap year. I don't know. It just feels like there's uncertainty there with Baker Mayfield, and it feels like he's calling a lot more shots than he should be calling given his position. Is that a fair assessment?
I think he's trying to call those. I think we don't know who's really calling them, right? These guys have been there for 2 years. We had the pandemic. Yeah. And the first year was kumbaya. Everything was great. It was the best season this franchise has had in 20 years. And this year it bottomed out. And so to the fan base, to ownership, this is the second time in 3 years that Baker's played poorly and the expectations have not been met. I agree. The roster's good. Expectations should be high. So what happens is I think they pursue a trade. But, if you can't get one of those top guys that you mentioned, then you probably can't. Do you really want to go the Matt Ryan road? Kirk Cousins. I'd be all for Derek Carr if you can do it. I don't know that you can do it. He's under contract for one more year. The Raiders will have to decide when they get their new bosses. So the draft doesn't look great. Maybe the Browns will be picking 10th or 11th, and they'll consider that. But I think, Dan, the team wants to move on. I just don't know what those options will be as they present themselves 4 weeks and even, all the way through 4-6 months from now.
And you got the rise of Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals. Being from Ohio, yeah. I know how this works. The Buckeyes got a great quarterback. The Bengals got a great quarterback. Browns, not so much.
Yeah, and it's like a year from now, if Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud, who you just mentioned, like the Browns aren't going to be in position to be picking a top 5 quarterback, right? So they're built to win now, and that's the urgency. I do think, like I said, that I do think they will go after a quarterback, but I can't say with any level of certainty, and I don't think they can either right now. Can you really trade for an A+ quarterback or even a B+ quarterback? And go forward thinking you can win the Super Bowl next year?